If you have a marble floor in your bathroom or marble shower, as I'm showing you here, you might have to strip it once in a while, especially with the grout issues that happen. So there's a special way to strip it down. I've also had to strip down the floor because of hairspray, and the cleaner wasn't getting it up for a while. But I'm going to show you how to do this and what types of products you'll want to look for. It's a lot easier to strip the floor than it is a wall, but I have done it before and we're going to do it again. To start with, you're going to want to go to your tile store to get some kind of product that works with stripping travertine marble or whatever marble you have. So I have this stuff in a bucket. It's dry. It's called a Poultice Stain Remover, and you're going to add water to it. And if you're just doing it on the floor, you don't have to put it in a bucket, but if you're doing it on a wall, you have to put it in a bucket. And a lot of times it'll come in a kit, so it'll come with this special sponge that has a scrubby side to it. You'll want to have some rubber gloves and then a whole bunch of cotton towels for later. I just buy a box of these at the paint store. Cotton rags are made out of t-shirt material. And then probably an extra sponge, because there's a lot of rinsing and wiping and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is mix this up. I just have a little pitcher to get this going. And I'm going to wet my sponge. And I'm going to mix it. Actually, I think I'm going to get a paint stir stick, so I'll be right back. Alright, so I have my stir stick, and I'll just stir it around a little bit to get it going, and then I'll probably stir it with the sponge. You want this to be, they describe it as a slurry. What's a slurry? So I might need a little more water, because it's getting kind of dry. But if it's too wet, then I'll have to add more of the poultice. So that might be about right. I don't have a big surface to do today, so I'm not making a lot. If you're doing a floor, you can wet the floor first and then just pour this dry poultice on it, sprinkle it on, and then just take the sponge on it. So now I'm going to, well, put on my gloves. And I'm going to wet the wall with the damp sponge. And probably I'm going to wind up getting a second bucket to put clean water in. All right, I'll show you what's next. First, I'm going to wipe down the tile with a damp sponge. Nice and wet. And then I'm going to apply what they call the slurry of poultice. And it's hard to show you in this tight little space, but my biggest thing is getting this grout clean. And then later I'll reseal it. So I'm using the scrubby side of the sponge. And you could probably use a brush if you wanted to. So I'm just going to keep doing this and scrubbing, and I'm also taking the finish off of the tile at the same time. So when I reseal this, I'll be resealing not just the grout, but the tile as well. And it is hard to properly seal a wall compared to sealing the floor because it's vertical. The sealer on this stuff is liquidy, it's not thick, and you put some on and then you wait a little bit and then you come off and wipe it off and then you put on another and you decide how many. I'll probably do 3 or 4 on the floor. They say do 1 or 2, but anyway, so I wanted to show you this is how you do it. And then the icky stuff in the grout is coming off very nicely. I don't know if you can see that, but this was very dark right here, and I'm working it. All right, so that's how you get the stuff off. So when I did my floor that had the hairspray on it, I just scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, and then every time I rinsed, I would look to see if I could still see little spots of hairspray on the floor. And then if I did, I would just do that area again with this sponge and with the poultice till I didn't see any more. And again, you do several rinses, wipe it with the not cotton towel, but the cotton fabric. I just get t-shirt fabric in a box at a paint store, like I showed you. And you just keep doing it till it's clean, and then you're ready to seal it. All right? I'll show you the next part. Now I'm going to use this brush again, or this sponge again, but on the other side, to rinse it down, just to get the extra off. I've got a lot down here. I ended up getting a little toothbrush that I use for cleaning to get into these corners. All right, so that's what I'm doing first. Wipe up a lot of this stuff. And then I'm going to use another bucket, you can hear me swishing, and a clean sponge to wipe it down, okay? So I'm going to do a couple of these rinses. I'll probably rinse the water out of the, empty the bucket and fill it with fresh water again. And I might see some little things here that I might want to give it another scrub. But I'm going to rinse it a couple times, and then in between rinses, I'll wipe it down with the t-shirt material. Okay, so my instructions say to rinse twice with clean water, and then to wipe it down with a towel. So I've already rinsed it once. Rinse it really well. These little, sorry, I bumped the camera. And then take your towel and wipe it down. They call it polishing. So, all right, polishing. So you polish it all. And you could even take your gloves off now, because most of the poultice should be gone. And then touch it with your hand to see if you feel any grittiness. And I don't. But they still want you to rinse it one more time. All right. Rinse it one more time really well. Get all of that grit off. And then dry it again, or polish it with a clean cloth. And next, you have to let it dry a little while, because the next part after that is to seal it. And in another video, I sealed the floor, or maybe I just cleaned the floor. Maybe I just cleaned the floor. But in the next part, we'll seal it, which is the last step. Once the tile is completely dry, I'm going to put on some sealer. Now, the sealer and the poultice came in a kit, in a box, with that other sponge that I showed you before, the yellow one that had the scrubby side, and then I bought this sponge separately. I'm going to apply it with a sponge. You can apply it with, let's see, it says you can apply it with the sponge, a brush, a paint pad, cotton towels, or even a sprayer. They say one coat should be sufficient, but it's not in a shower. So the thing is, you want to pour some onto here, onto the sponge, because we're going to do it vertically. And you just wipe it on, and then you wait 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, you take another clean towel or paper towel, and you wipe up anything that pooled. And the thing is, you have to wait 30 minutes between applications. So after 30 minutes, I can put on a second one, wait 10 minutes, and then put on a third one. And then I test it. It's harder to test on a wall, but on a floor, you just put a few drops of water. If the drops of water sink into the marble, then it's not sealed. If the little drops of water bead, which, yeah, you can do it on the floor or on the wall. If the little drops of water bead, then you're good. So I'll show you just wiping it on. Actually wiping it on, there's not a whole lot to see, but I'm taking this, here, maybe I can go around and just go like that. Or you could put a little bit in a bucket and absorb it. And then just wipe it on like this. All right, that's all that is to it. I know it's really liquidy, so you stop and think, did I get some on there? But you do. And you can asphyxiate yourself with this stuff, so open a window. And then you want to leave for 10 minutes. Now 10 minutes has gone by, and it says to polish dry any remaining wet sealer, especially if it's puddled. And you can use either a cotton cloth, like I'm using here, or a bunch of paper towels. And that's about it. And now I'm going to wait another 20 minutes, so it's a total of 30 before I put on the second coat. I'm putting my third and final coat on, and I'll see after 10 minutes if any of it is pooled, and if it has and it's kind of drippy, I'll wipe it off with a cloth. And then I'm actually going to let it sit. I'm not going to use a shower for 24 hours. I've got another one. But a good 24 hours I think is good to let it all, get in there and get solid and dry up completely and get sealed, because it's this grout that I'm most concerned about sealing. So that is how you strip down and reseal marble.